What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of What the Fanboy. My name is Luke, and joining me this week is Mr. Tyler.
What's up, what's up? Another week, another different way to video call each other. More technical difficulties for Tyler.
Another week, another no dollars.
Another no dollars.
Yeah.
And on the right side of my Zoom call is the beautiful Brett Eitzen.
You're above me in mine.
Yeah, you're the right side of the blocks on mine.
Well, I'm
Brett
happy, as usual, to be on your right.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be back. I don't know why you keep inviting me back after so many shows, but pleasure's always mine
Brett
to be
is
here.
my left, and Tyler's beneath me.
Ouch. I'm okay with being on the bottom, though.
Why does that not surprise me?
Oh. Sorry, I just had to see Luke's face when I said that.
We're off to a real crazy start here,
Yes, we are.
kids and coaches. What have you
Cool
guys
cats
been
and kittens.
I want to go punch Carol Baskin in the noggin.
I had
Man,
Carol
that makes
Baskin
a-
on my team on Call of Duty yesterday. It was interesting.
Luke, I want you to do the entire episode talking into your drink. You get some real nice reverb.
Oh, you nearly adapted the doc.
Love
Oh
it.
my
Come on.
gosh.
Should I get a cup?
No.
It'll make it even better. What a lovely, lovely voice.
Okay, I'm done.
Good.
Well, I'll go through what I did first this week since it pertains to Bane and or DC. I spent most of my week over on the DC Universe app.
Nice.
So I
Love that
watched. Of course, I'm keeping up with the current season of Harley Quinn.
Kardashians?
Yes.
I definitely thought that's what you were about to say, and I was like,
Keeping
what?
up with the Harley Quinn Kardashian. Man, Harley Quinn would murder their Kardashians so quickly. She'd just be
Oh, yeah.
so fed up. And that, yeah, interesting to think about. That
Or
show's
try
really
and join
good.
them,
Or yeah, maybe, I don't know.
because they're all crazy.
I've been really impressed with this season, how different it is from the first one. I was afraid that they would kind of just, like, here's a season 2. It's so similar to season 1, but they've been giving that world room to grow, and I really like that. Also, I watched Justice League vs. Teen Titans. That's a movie from just like last year or 2 or 3 years ago. Fairly recent. I don't know why it's called Justice League vs. Teen Titans.
So
Have you guys have seen this one, right?
I've seen all of them
Okay.
except for Batman Ninja, which is fine because I forgot to tell you this actually.
Mhm.
With these more recent ones, they're actually in an order. They're all connected.
So I noticed that some of the character, like, I figured they were connected in some way. I
Mhm.
didn't know if it really mattered what order you watched them in, but
So they kind of did the same thing as what the comics did when Flashpoint Paradox comic run ended. They rebooted DC Comics into the New 52.
okay.
And it started off with this Justice League origin story where Darkseid comes to Earth. That was adapted into an animated movie called Justice League War. And that's the first one.
Oh.
And then there's like Batman and Son and Batman vs. Robin and
Well, yeah,
Justice League, other ones. And
because
it goes through this real
was
long
all
story,
around,
yeah.
and I was like, I don't know why Damien's such an important character, but okay.
yeah. So Damian and Batman like have 2 or 3 movies together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's
okay.
I think he's there as punishment. I don't remember because
Yeah, so in Justice League vs. Teen Titans, he's there basically because he got tired, he got bored of doing crowd control for Justice League and did that thing where like you complete the mission, he finished it for them, but he did it
His way.
in his way, and he didn't take orders from his dad. and so we got sent to the Teen Titans hangout. Other than that, though, other than like it's weird that it's called Justice League versus Teen Titans because they have one brief little back and forth or whatever. I actually kind of enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good. I did not know a lot about Raven before watching it, and so learning a little bit more about Raven, and I appreciate how DC is never afraid of going into the mythical aspects of the world. So that was really fun to see.
Yep.
I don't know what I'd rate it. It'd probably be like a low fanboy worthy, high all right. I mean, I don't know. It's
I
good.
mean, honestly, that's what I pretty much give all those movies.
Yeah.
Those animated movies are designed for the either kids who are starting to get into comics
Or fanboys.
or fanboys.
yeah.
Mainly the fanboys.
Yeah, for sure. I also watched Batman Hush. Luke, you made a face.
Yeah, I know. Finish what you're gonna say.
I like this one.
Read the book. Read the
I know.
book.
So about halfway through Batman Hush, it goes woo, and it's nothing like Batman Hush, the book.
Yeah, and I'm sure that colors my opinion that I haven't read the book. I don't know. When you say that, like, Hush is a completely different character in the book. Oh, well, see, now I kind of want to read the book because I'm really curious on what direction they took there.
The problem with the book is you know who it is the whole time.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
But it works really well because it's this, like, you figure it out real quick, even though you're not supposed to know. But it makes you realize, like, oh, this is really messing with Bruce. But man, in the movie, it's this weird version of Riddler, and it's like, what? What is this? Like, and I kind of do appreciate. I recognize them trying to do something different to mix it up.
Right.
But I don't think they chose a good person at all.
They should have chose Jason Todd like they do for everything else.
You're right.
Well, that's who it was going to be originally, but they're like, "Ooh, we can't do this."
So real quick, I'll say that one for me personally, it's probably a little bit higher up. It's maybe a solid fanboy worthy.
Nice.
I don't know. It really worked for me.
Good.
And then the last one I watched was Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. It's also fanboy worthy. I didn't think it was spectacular, but it's a little bit of the older vein animated show movie. This is probably going to be blasphemous. I really like the new voice actors. I don't think when I hear in Crisis on Two Earths, when I hear Batman talk or I hear Superman, it's really noticeable with Superman. I'm like, I don't know, like it doesn't quite sit right, and that's just me being nitpicky. But I think they're talented voice actors. They're just not. I don't hear Superman. I don't hear what I think of when I think of Batman. But that's just nitpicky stuff.
That is a very hot take.
Yep.
Who-
You're welcome.
is-
I'm
is
full
it
of hot
Conroy?
takes.
Yeah,
Wow.
And I know you guys are like
I'm pretty sure it's
big Conroy fans.
Conroy and Daly. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
Conroy, Daly, Eisenberg, the Justice League cast.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Brett, we will now shun you.
Yeah,
That's
bold. This
man.
will not be the first hot take I have, or the last hot take I have tonight. I can guarantee you.
This episode will probably be full of interesting takes.
Yeah, that's
Indeed.
for sure. Is that all you did this week, Brett?
Other than that, I just played a lot of Destiny 2. We collectively played the Raid Lair Eater of Worlds. Before we talk more about that, Luke, I want you to describe what the second to last encounter was.
I don't remember. I just remember shooting at the thing at the end, and then I couldn't jump at the beginning. Was this the part where we're flying through when we got shot through the gun?
No, this
No,
is
so
the
the
one...
second to last encounter is the 3-man weave with the skulls.
Oh yeah, I just protected the void area.
Good job. You did your job. I just remember at one point, after like 5 minutes of explaining, you were like, I don't know what's going on.
And then I thought I had it and I screwed it up.
Yeah, and then I screwed it up the next time probably. But then you explained it, Tyler, as the 3-man weave thing, and then I kind of started to get it too.
Yeah.
But what really helped was, I'm pretty sure in the last time we did it, well, the first to last time we did it, we had to do it twice because we kind of had connection issues, like with your laser gun, Tyler, and so we had to start over. Was that for the second to last part?
That was for the last part.
There was no void ever. I just had to stand there.
You just
so
had to
like
defend.
it kind of gifted me an area where I could just be like, okay,
we got lucky.
I
we
got
got
so
lucky
little
that
work.
Luke didn't have to do anything.
I love it.
The less I have to do, the better.
So other than that, give me your guys' impressions of the raid layer, because this is a layer. It's not a full raid. It's designed to be a much shorter experience.
I appreciated the shortness of it because I wasn't up till 2 a.m.
We started a lot earlier too, though.
That's very true.
Yeah, we did it in an hour and 34 minutes, and
That
that was with
being
4
said-
people. That was 4 people who had never done it before.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, we're all stars, baby. Bring it on. Bring on Last Wish right now. No, I thought it was okay. I really enjoyed the end where we were shooting the boss.
Mhm.
That's the stuff I like to do. The beginning part was either just a complete struggle for me or things wouldn't work for me. Because, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm a Titan, so jumping and mobility is just rough on me. Plus, it's supposed to be easier, so, I don't know, pressure's on, I guess. And I just couldn't do it. But then, like, my character won't vault up a ledge, and so I die.
Yeah.
So that was a struggle. But I liked the second half, I guess. I didn't like the first half.
Okay, Tyler.
I actually really enjoyed it. I am a big fan of when you get to have like movement-based mechanics, which is what I kind of felt. Other than the Gauntlet, which I've said a million times, and the Leviathan is my favorite part.
Yeah.
So like the lack of movement-based mechanics in Leviathan, and then this one felt like most of it was movement. There's a jumping puzzle. There's the 3-man weave at the end. There's climbing the appearing blocks to shoot his back. Like all that stuff is based in movement, and I just love that. It makes the game feel more, I don't know, alive rather than me standing in a stationary place and just trying to survive. So I enjoyed it. It felt more like a shock to me, or a strike to me than a raid. But I did like it, and I think it would be. I think it's a pretty solid addition. I'm excited to do the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here, Luke, so you feel less pressure. The next one's really, really hard. Does that less pressure
No.
now? Oh no.
No.
Okay.
It's just that
Is
the
the next
pressure
one
of
really
like
hard?
it's less the like the pressure. Oh, like this is easy. It's more like it should be easy because all we're doing is jumping and landing on a platform.
Yeah.
And like my hands are sweaty, and I'm going, oh my gosh, if I mess this up, everybody's gonna make fun of me. And then I mess it up, and everybody makes fun of me because I'm an idiot, and I should be able to land on a platform.
We really do. I know Lepke's brought it up a couple times. We really do need to go back and do King's Fall, just so Luke can really get the feel for what that is, because I think that raid has everything.
It does.
And Vault of Glass is fun too. I think Vault
yeah.
of Glass is the most difficult raid out of all of them, though.
I wear contacts, so.
But I guess I'll talk about my week
Yeah,
just to
keep
keep
going.
this thing moving. So I also played Destiny with you two, but I also did another raid. I'll call it Scourge of the Past, so you guys don't make fun of me. That is the raid on Earth, and I got to tell you, I can't wait to do that one again because that one's really cool. It's simple. I think we beat it in, I don't know, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We spent most of that time waiting for people to get there, but it's really fun. Really fun mechanics. It's really cool aesthetically. Like, it looks awesome. And man, that last encounter with the 3 waves of angle, parallel, and what's the last one? There's angled, parallel, and Hunter, help me out. Hunter, what are the 3 stages of the Scourge of the Past raid? It's angled, parallel, and what? Continuous. That's the word.
Continuous. That's
Sorry.
right.
This is a long rabbit hole we didn't need to go down, but that mechanic, I think, of the game I thought it was wildly impressive, and whoever did that blind, good for you, because that's insane. But yeah, I played more Destiny, beat 2 raids this weekend, which 3 years ago would be unheard of, but now it's doable.
2 months ago.
Well, yeah, for me. I also watched Jumanji: The Next Level.
Ooh.
I did not see this one in theaters. I knew I would buy it when it came out. I just never got around to going and seeing it. I'll just quickly rate it. I'd give it a fanboy worthy. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was hilarious. I love watching Kevin Hart play an old person. I could watch a whole movie of that. I kind of wish they hadn't. Yeah. Don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But I will say this: the mid-credit scene made me so excited for what's to come, and I hope there's only one more.
Yeah.
But man,
They need to cap it.
I think they have put 2 really solid movies together. Which, when Jumanji, the first one, or I guess the second one, was announced, I didn't think it was a good idea. But now I just really want another one. But yeah, fanboy worthy for me. The Rock and Kevin Hart just killed me that whole movie.
They're a great pairing.
And Jack Black was really funny too.
Yeah, they've got a great cast there.
Yeah, they do a good job with it.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle
the new stuff.
Some of the challenges with where they're trying to go.
Yeah.
In the realm of the world, and then so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the Hound. I thought that was a cool.
Yeah. I
didn't know. They hit a couple actors in there that I thought was really cool.
They had some good cameos.
Yeah. And then the last thing I did, I spent some time on DC Universe as well. I watched the first episode of Season 2 of Harley Quinn, but I'm not going to jump into that. I actually read a DC Black Label story that I've been wanting to read for a while. They put it on DC Universe, I think, last week. It's called Batman White Knight. This is a story about the Joker going sane and launching a political attack on the Batman as a good person in Gotham. Holy crap. Is all I can say about it. I was absolutely mind blown by how good this was. If you like the comic book medium, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking this one out. Because it takes you on a wild ride. It's very clear from the beginning that it's an Elseworlds story. And saying that, I'm not spoiling anything here, but Dick is actually the second Robin in this story, which is pretty interesting. And there's some pretty hard-hitting characters who don't quite make it all the way through. So it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend checking it out. The second part, Batman Curse of the White Knight, is supposed to come out in September in its entirety. And that one will feature Azrael. So
very cool.
It's good. Highly recommend it. I gave it a fanboy worthy. It's Black Label, so I can't recommend it to everybody because it has some adult themes in there, but I would definitely say check it out if you have the DC Universe app, or if you have $20 you want to go spend on a great story. Definitely worth a read.
I feel like, especially now as people are, quarantined, you're not spending money on going out and watching movies. Like, if you're not gonna go spend $20 on a movie and snacks or whatever, like, yeah, like it's totally justifiable
Yeah.
to spend that on like a comic. Which, for someone like me, I probably wouldn't ever do that. But and that's just preference, right?
Mhm.
Like,
No, absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with normally spending $20 on a comic. But I think especially with like Tyler's recommendation, I would just echo that. Like, that's not a bad use of money.
No, it's good, man, and I can't wait to read the next part. Man, I haven't read a comic book like that in a while, where I just couldn't stop reading it. Like, I started it yesterday, and it's only 8 issues, but it's Black Label issues, so they're like 35 pages. So I don't know, it probably totals out to around 200 some pages, but it's good. I can't say enough good things about it. I just can't. I don't want to spoil it. So, and that's all I did. I didn't really do a whole lot. I put a new screen door up on my house, so that was
Yeah.
Home improvement.
So that was fun and frustrating.
I can't wait to use that door that won't bust my ankles and then won't close.
Yeah, this one will work a lot better.
All right. I guess I'll tell you what I did.
You did
Yeah.
everything.
I did every single thing. If there's something out there, I watched it this weekend.
That's
Nice.
It was crazy, and I give everything a booyah.
Wow.
I'm done.
Are they all perfect movies?
Yes.
Nice.
Sure. No. Yeah, I played a lot of Destiny. I have 6 out of the 7 Almighty Triumph seals. I just need to get that one perfect run on the Seraph Tower, and then I can have that banner. What's it called?
It's a
Name tag?
title.
Title. And I
Title.
want to get that, so I'll need your guys' help sometime, probably.
Sign me up, baby.
That is, if you're wanting one of those banners, that's a pretty easy one to get. There's some hard moments, I guess, but if you're playing with people and you just play honestly, you can get that one.
If Lou can get it, anyone
If I can get it, you can get it.
What is that title?
Almighty.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry, the
it's pretty-
Almighty Triumph
sounds-
makes sense.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is dope.
I'm almighty. Rub it in those dredgens' faces. But I watched 2 movies this weekend. I actually wasn't playing as much Destiny as I usually was. I actually decided to do some other things. The first movie that I watched was the movie that dropped this past weekend called Extraction on Netflix. It stars Chris Hemsworth. It's a spec ops military action heavy movie. It's directed by Sam Hargrave, who was the stunt coordinator for the Russos on like Endgame and all those Avengers movies. And then it's written by Joe Russo, I think.
Nice.
And they were producers of it as well. And I gotta say, I was actually kind of impressed by the fact that I liked it. Usually when I watch a Netflix movie, it's like, okay. Except for like Marriage Story and Roma and like movies that are like, oh, it's nominated for an Oscar. It's probably actually
Right.
pretty good. Most Netflix movies are all right, or below. And I can say that confidently. But this one was a lot of fun. It has some really, really good in-your-face action. A lot of great knife fights, fist fights, slap fights, gun fights.
Slap fights.
Yeah, best fight in the movie is a slap fight, and if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was my favorite part in the whole movie. I was laughing really hard, and it was a lot of fun.
Love it.
It's getting compared to John Wick a lot for the correct reason. It is very... It's based around the action, kind of like how John Wick was. I'd say John Wick is definitely better because it grabs you in with the story. This one tries, and I think it will really grab some people. If just depends who you are. It didn't really exactly work for me, but I mean, I was mainly just there to watch the cool action, and it delivered very well.
Nice.
I'd say my controversial opinion is kind of one of the things they're selling for this movie, which is one of the longest one-shot action scenes in a film. I did not like it. I thought it was horrible.
Oh.
It was my least favorite part of the movie, honestly.
Well, it wasn't done by Roger Deakins, so of course
Exactly.
it was horrible.
Exactly. I think their 10-minute, 15-minute oneer had twice as many cuts as the entire film of 1917.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. I mean, that's way more common,
And
right?
I can comfortably say I noticed the cuts
Yeah.
because
That's
it's a
that's
camera
unfortunate.
looking out of the back of the car and going
Oh.
to the front,
The
to the
swipe,
back.
the swipe
to the back.
transitions, I never understand. I feel like they're so lazy.
I did that in Tyler's paintball video when I was just poo-pooing around in Da Vinci. Fun, because I was bored.
I'm gonna put you in charge of our next one shot.
No,
video.
don't you
Luke.
dare! Don't you dare! But like the action in it is really good. It's really long. It's a cool car chase that leads to a gunfight, which leads to a knife fight, which leads to more fighting. It's really long and it's cool. But the filming of it is bad, I think. And I'd be interested to see if you guys agree or disagree.
I'll have to check it out.
It's on my list. Yeah, I'll try and get around to it this week so I can report back next.
Yeah, I'll see
That
if
being
I'll see if I
said,
can too.
I think Chris Hemsworth does a really good job of selling his character and selling the emotional part of the story. It's kind of with some other stuff where it's like, man, you didn't really need that. I get the idea. But I think Chris Hemsworth is really good. What else was there? It takes place in India, and it's mainly in like an Indian cast. And the dude who plays like the kind of guy who's going against Chris Hemsworth, I thought he was super dope. I really enjoyed him, and the kid that gets kidnapped in the movie was really good too. So check that out. I give it a fanboy worthy. If you like action movies, you'll like this movie. It's fun. The second movie I watched, I was told to watch this a couple weeks ago or a week ago. One of my buddies from college texted me, Zach, and he's like, "Hey, I just watched Code 8 on Netflix. It was pretty dope. You should watch it." I was like, "All right, I've heard of this movie. It's got Stephen Amell in it. I'll check it out." This movie's awesome.
Kickstarter movie, man.
I was like, indie film, superhero, heist film. Okay, let's go. I'm sure it'll be fun. It was recommended. It was probably pretty good. This movie was dope. I thought it was sick. The like kind of world they created with how powers are perceived and the things they do. I'm like, this is really cool, and like it's like they're basic superpowers. Like you have your freeze, your electrician, and your strong guys. Like it's nothing like people are flying around in capes or anything. Like it's people have powers and they use their powers like as construction workers. But like people
really
hate
cool.
people with powers now. And this world they created was so good. And the movie stars Robbie Amell and his cousin Stephen Amell, who is Green Arrow on Arrow. And they're good. They're not like Oscar worthy or like blowing my mind or anything. But you can definitely see an improvement from what they did on like the CW. They're really good, and I was impressed.
Directing goes a long way, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
but man, they suckered me in with this story, and I was like, oh man, I hope they can like get out of this. And it's a fun heist movie, and I recommend it to not everybody. Obviously, it's an R-rated, weird indie superpower film. Like, there's some people that will start this and be like, "What the heck is going on?" Like, so I give it a fanboy worthy too. I give it a high one. If you're wanting something different from your superhero movie, this is the one. It will be a nice breath of fresh air, something different. It's called Code 8. I don't even know if I said the name.
You did.
Okay, yeah, Code 8 on Netflix.
I've heard it would work better as a TV show.
It probably would, but I was really impressed what they were able to do in this really low budget movie. You can see the budget, but it's weird because it like looks really good. Like there's these robots walking around. It's obviously a dude in clothes, and it's just he's walking like a robot. But man, it works so well. Like I was never like, oh man, that dude in the costume's gonna get you. And I was like, oh man, the robot's gonna get you. Shoot, what else was I gonna say? If have you guys seen the movie Push with Chris Evans?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I would compare it to Push.
That's all you needed to say. You can stop
Yeah.
there. I'm in.
I'm a huge fan of Push,
I'm in.
and it kind of felt like a weird sequel to that almost, except instead of psychics, it's superpowers. But kind of similar tone and similar thing. It's like Push meets The Town, is how I would describe it.
Ooh.
It's a heist bank robbery movie. Code 8. Go check it out. Fanboy worthy.
Sweet. Is that all you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds like a good week.
It was a good week for news, too.
It was a good week.
Well, depending on who you are, it's a good week for news. For Luke, the release date for Last of Us 2 got dropped. June 19th, 2020, as well as the entire game was dropped online. If you know,
Man,
keep
I
your-
got the muted on Twitter. I'm not getting anything.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't go looking for Last of Us spoilers because you will find them right now.
Yep.
They are out and about because of disgruntled employees.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is. It sucks for everybody who worked so hard on that game. But
Podcast.
at the same time, shame on Naughty Dog for not paying their employees too.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty sketchy.
Yeah, there's definitely some justifiable anger there. I obviously would never condone taking it out in this manner.
Right.
But we've known there's been problems with crunch and the video game industry for a long time.
Yeah.
We finally kind of felt like we were making tracks the last couple years, so we'll see if maybe we make a little more inroads now, but yeah. It's a bummer. But I am excited for, if for people like Luke who haven't had it spoiled. I mean, even if you have had it spoiled, experiencing it, playing it.
Did you have it
still gonna
spoiled,
be
Brett?
Awesome. No, but
Oh.
I don't follow.
But you also won't play it. So.
I also won't play it. Not at least not right away. So, no, but it is a good opportunity to go and if you're on social media, mute those words that you need to and just avert your eyes.
My favorite
Yeah.
part is I haven't beat Last of Us. I'm currently playing through it, but
Shame.
also have not had that game spoiled for how long it's been out. So I've avoided it like
crazy.
the plague, man.
I haven't even spoiled it for you.
No, I won't let you. I'll kick
Did I
you.
ever tell? Have I ever told you what my favorite video game moment is ever?
I know it has to do with The Last of Us,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure it has to do with giraffes.
There's oh man, that moment. Oh,
I'll let you know
almost
when I
made-
get there.
dude, it like made me cry.
I'll let you know when I get there. But yeah, Last of Us release date June 19th, 2020. I'm excited. I will beat Last of Us before then. So
Sweet.
Very cool. Any other video game news? Kind of over in that realm.
yes,
I remember seeing Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima.
it got a release date this summer, July 17th, 2020.
Cool.
That's one that I'll keep my eye on. I don't think I'll get it day one, but I'm definitely interested.
Same.
Um,
For me, if it's gonna be another like Sekiro, and it's gonna be like really hard, then I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
if it's
either.
gonna be a fun exciting game. Maybe close to around kind of what Fallen Order was, where it was difficult, but
it has
wasn't
difficulties.
life changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't just constantly beat you into the ground.
And then that's all I have in video game news. There's a video game movie news story.
Ooh.
What is it?
Do tell.
The Uncharted movie is in the news this week.
Again.
Did you guys see this?
No.
You didn't? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I have so many things muted on Twitter right now.
That's
It
probably
may
true.
get pulled into
Some other weird place.
Some of that stuff.
it may get pulled into the muted black hole.
The Uncharted movie release date was moved up to July 16th, 2021.
Tom Holland's putting in work, man.
So they're going to film that movie and put it out in probably less than a year.
Golly.
I'm so concerned about that movie.
What comes out?
Point, it's just
What
a
comes
tax
out first?
write-off.
Uncharted,
Or
The Flash,
or
or Chaos Walking,
I thought you were going to say New Mutants.
or New Mutants. Yeah, good point.
I would bet Chaos Walking comes out first. Out of those three. Mostly because it's done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it comes out January 2021.
Dude, it went from a summer release date to a spring release date to January. That movie's going to be cheeks. As I look at my Chaos Walking book set and I cry inside. Because that's such a good story. But
It is sad. You know what's not sad?
what?
Despite the fact that we live in a coronavirus world, we still will get to see Scoob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scoob is not being delayed. It is being pushed out to video on demand on May 15th
I'm so excited.
at $20 to rent, $25 to buy.
I'm so ready.
So
Will we be able to hang out by that point yet, so I can watch it with you
Hey,
guys?
Kansas, it's May 3rd, I think.
as of now, I mean, we still got the rest of this week to get through.
Yeah.
Things could change, but fingers crossed, right?
Think positive.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Scoob.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one just because it's one that Claire is very excited to see too. So we'll definitely be watching it right away.
Sweet.
Yep.
What you got, Luke?
Well, I guess just real quick, speaking of things on demand, HBO Max announced their actual release date for the Warner Brothers HBO service. It's going to be released May 27th. And they're going to have 10,000 hours of stuff to watch on there.
It's gonna
So
be
just a bit.
It's gonna be really interesting. We're a month away from that as of recording right now, and I, as an HBO subscriber, have not seen anything in terms of like, hey, be ready. Make sure you need to do this to your account, or like that's what concerns me more than anything. Like you are going up against Disney and Netflix and Amazon, and you've got to have your communication tight. I just haven't heard anything about it.
Well, what are they? I mean, and the other thing that I keep thinking about is like, what are they launching with?
I don't know
Like,
if they have
usually
like
these
any
services
originals.
launch with an original
That's not
content.
true.
They
have
released
some-
a couple trailers.
They have some series.
Okay.
I don't know if they have any movies. But my guess would be like they'll probably have like Birds of Prey up on there right away, and
Joker is going to be there.
Joker.
All the HBO stuff. And then they have a couple new shows
Yeah.
that they had trailers for. Like there's an Anna Kendrick one, some rom-com thing.
Well, while we're talking about HBO Max, they announced, I believe it was this week, a Hellraiser series is in the works at HBO.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me. A horror television series, and like not just like a horror television series, but like a horror icon like Pinhead having a TV show is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see what that looks like. Because to make it a good TV show, I feel like you have to have a good story to tell. And I don't know that Pinhead, just murdering people is a good story. So I'm
Maybe
interested.
it takes place in two timelines. You have the past where the trauma happened, and in the future where these people have grown up a little bit, but they're remembering the trauma because it might be starting to happen again. And they have to save the kids that it's happening to.
That sounds like
I've never seen
Chapter 2.
Hellraiser. I've never seen Hellraiser, so I honestly don't know what it is.
Well, you just pretty much detailed the plot of It Chapter 2, so good job.
Yeah, and Haunting of Hill House. It's a horror trope.
Yeah. I guess that's a horror series, but I don't know. That has a good story, so
It's
I don't know.
fantastic.
Moving on.
It's the second best show on Netflix.
Real quick, Tyler, this is kind of a breaking story that I think you're going to be interested in. Currently, Gears Tactics released
Please
today.
come to console, baby.
Well, right. Hold on. I have things to say. First off, it is the top selling game on Steam right now.
Let's go.
So
Love the Gears franchise is successful.
that's really cool. Also, and what makes that even more impressive is that it's free if you have Game Pass Ultimate.
Nice.
So
And it's still selling.
It's still selling, which probably means people just really like people are more into playing on Steam than maybe whatever Xbox Windows thing they have going on. But I still think that's really cool. Secondly, yes, it will be coming out on Xbox One later this year.
Nice. That's awesome, man, because I've been reading reviews about it, like the early reviews, and people are talking about how it can compete with the XCOMs of the world. Like, it's a good game, apparently. And I'm sure it has a campaign that tells a different story from Marcus Phoenix and everybody. So that's awesome. I look forward to having a chance to try it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was my breaking news.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Breaking news.
Good job. Luke finished at the end of his statement by mentioning Netflix. And I may butcher this name, Enola Holmes movie with Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill. That was purchased by Netflix this week, and will be releasing on Netflix. I don't know when, but it's got a pretty good cast, and Henry Cavill's doing every movie but Superman, so why not?
Classic Henry Cavill.
Breaking my heart.
I'm going to make a Witcher show where I sit out the finale, and then I'm going to make a show about Sherlock Holmes' little sister, because it's better than Superman. Thanks, Henry.
Warner Brothers, what is going on?
They don't know. They can't even
They
make a
don't
Flash
know.
movie.
They don't know. Oh, Podcat. You haven't
Podcast's pissed. Henry Cavill's Superman, and he's not doing anything with it.
say, I want more Superman. That's what that purring was.
Well, that
He's
didn't work.
agreeing with me.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, sorry. Speaking of Netflix, Netflix saw 16 million new signups in the first quarter of 2020.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
So I just think that reinforces that idea of they're really investing in getting new content.
Yeah. That's good, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are going to be new on Netflix, they're getting, well, not new, I guess, but they're getting Avatar: The Last Airbender back.
Yeah.
They have the live action rights, and they're making a show still, apparently. I don't know. But that is one of the best shows ever made. So watch it.
Things coming to streaming services. You guys are familiar with May the 4th, right? And how that's Star Wars Day.
What? May the 4th?
May the 4th be with you.
May the
May the 4th.
4th.
Do you
come
get
after the 3rd.
Do you get it? May the 4th be
2020.
with you. Like May the 4th be with you.
Why is the 4th with me?
The Force is with you.
No, I think I got it.
Do you have a lisp?
Actually, I did as a child, and I had to go to like a couple sessions of speech therapy. So I could
Way
get
to
rid of
bring it up, Luke.
Gosh.
Hey, I had to go to speech therapy too because I had water in my ears and I talked wrong. or it seemed like water in my ears. I didn't talk till I was like 3.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay,
I just
well,
mumbled.
and
I was
now
like,
we can't get him to shut up.
you sounded like Porky the Pig there.
That's all, folks.
All right. The Rise of Skywalker will be on Disney Plus May 4th.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to be too busy watching the Clone Wars finale.
that's pretty cool.
I'm going to be too busy watching the Mandalorian documentary that's also coming out on May the 4th.
Yeah, I'll probably watch that over Rise of Skywalker as well because I'm just interested in seeing it.
I may, if I go back and revisit Rise of Skywalker, I legit may just go back and like go to the extras and see what kind of like deleted scenes
See
or
what kind of train wreck
behind
that
the
was.
scenes thing. I don't
I
know. Those
like
are always
that
fun to
movie.
watch,
I
even
just
if
like
they're
pumping bread up.
boy. Oh,
It's okay, man.
it's okay. Not every movie's for everyone.
That's
That
right.
one just wasn't for me.
You know what a movie was that I didn't like? Was not for me? Venom. And it's getting a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a terrible name. It's called Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That is horrible.
I wonder who the
Whoever's-
villain is.
Is it Riot again? What was his name? Kind of looks like diarrhea.
It's Carnage. It's red diarrhea.
It's red. Oh, this movie.
As long as it's not Woody Harrelson.
It is Woody Harrelson.
I had one thing I wanted with this movie, and it was for Woody Harrelson to not be in it.
The one saving grace this movie that, let me rephrase that. The
Yeah,
one thing
good
that
job.
I might be this movie's saving grace, or just like a little bit of a redeeming factor for it, I think is maybe the fact that Andy Serkis is directing and might be able to pull off a little bit better action, directing the action than the last one.
Dude, did you see the behind the scenes clips of how they did the fight scenes for this?
No.
For the first one? It is the worst thing I think I've ever seen. Yeah, it's what Luke is doing. It looks like they basically turned Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed into super inflatable wacky blow up guys.
That's amazing. Now I will.
If I can
have to
find
go
it, I'll
look that
send it
up.
to you.
Okay.
That movie's so bad.
But
Oh.
speaking of behind the scenes, I got one. Look at that
Yeah, do
segue,
it, do it.
Tyler. Throw the oop to yourself, son, off the backboard.
beautiful.
Did you guys see the behind the scenes image of Doctor Strange in the Iron Man suit?
Yes.
I did.
That was pretty cool. I
That
wish
was
we could
very
have saw
cool.
that.
That would have been sick.
Yeah.
I didn't read any information or like surrounding it. What was the context of it?
That was the rescue for getting Tony back,
Oh,
I guess. That was one of the ways they were going to do it.
interesting. I love concept art, especially because typically you don't think about how broad they directors and producers and just in those early stages of making a movie, how broad they really cast that net. Like there
Oh,
are
yeah.
just
It
the
starts like
craziest ideas that
This.
get
when it comes
refined
to
over time.
This.
So, yeah, that was really cool to see.
Yeah. I only have one more story.
What else do I got? I got 2 more things. I guess I can go for another segue. I was talking about Woody Harrelson earlier,
Yeah?
and there's going to be a Hunger Games prequel.
Is Hey Mitch going to be in it?
No. It's young Donald Sutherland, I think.
Yeah.
It's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think the book's being written, and they're already working on the movie.
The book is done. It comes out next month, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never read the books. I like the second movie a whole lot.
When I was reading the books, the second
That's
book,
it.
the second book is my favorite. But I remember like the end of the second book. There is no District 13. I was like, what?
Oh, District 12.
Whatever,
District
12.
13 was already gone.
Yeah, 13 was gone. Sorry, 12. I just remember I was like, what? Are you kidding me? It's gone? How? And I just was mind blown. I think I was like, I don't know, 15 or 16. I just could not believe it. But I'm excited to read this. I don't know. I don't expect it to be very good. I feel like Hey Mitch would have been a much more interesting character to go with.
Mm.
But I don't know. What do I know?
I know nothing.
No,
Really.
You know
About
nothing.
You know
games.
nothing, Jon Snow.
Dang it. All right, my last story. Into the Spider-Verse 2 delayed till October 27th, 2022.
Boo.
It's just the
Yeah,
trend,
that
right?
sucks, but everything's pushing. So
Everything. Did we talk about Spider-Man 3
home run.
Home Run? Apparently,
Homeschooled?
apparently it will have the word home in it in some way. I think
Work from home?
Amy Pascal kind of let that tease that, but also it got moved from July of next year to November. So I don't know. I don't remember if we mentioned that last week, but
Yeah, and I think Thor moved again too.
of course can't keep track of them these days.
Thor and Doctor Strange both moved, and they're 6 weeks apart now. It's the closest to
assuming-
MCU movies have ever been.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
those are
everything's
both
gonna move
gonna be
again.
wild movies.
Yeah.
Boy, if you're into psychedelics, I think you're gonna have a good 2 months.
Got a good
there.
6-week window there, yeah.
Last thing I have, the creator of Russian Doll is going to be developing a new female-led Star Wars show for Disney Plus.
Guys,
Supposed to be what?
at this point, we're the only people not developing a new Star Wars show for Disney Plus, and that
Yeah,
makes me furious.
Send in your script, Brett. Do it.
It's not finished.
Do it. That's okay. Apparently, you don't need to figure out the ending
That's true.
when you work on
That's true.
Star Wars. All you need is a solid beginning. That's it.
Good to know. Okay,
Yeah, somebody else will finish it for you.
that's a good point. Well, chances are I'll just get fired from the project halfway through production, anyways. So,
As long as you still get that executive producer credit.
hey, as long as I get the check, man.
That's
all I
what we're
need.
really here for.
It's got to get that foot in the door. It's
Well,
gotta get that
a check
foot in
and
the
yes,
door.
and a credit. I need a credit because otherwise, what are you doing?
Right.
Can't get more work if you don't get credit. Yeah, no, this seems interesting. I liked Russian Doll. I
Yeah,
don't.
that was really good.
I don't think that necessarily translates into Star Wars like at all. But I'm down for someone who created something good to try something else. So yeah, sign me up.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all the news.
Awkward silence.
So let's get into this topic.
Okay, guys. I know you don't think there's such a thing, but we're going to be discussing what are perfect movies.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I have
Cheech-
not seen
Chitty
that
chitty
in
bang
a
bang, chitty chitty bang
long
bang.
time.
Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. Friday. Next Friday. Friday after next.
Watching Grass Grow 2, The Squeakquel.
Bad Santa.
So
I'm trying
this,
to name all these really dumb movies that are actually kind of funny. Some of them. Friday's good.
this topic was kind of trending on Twitter last week, and so I
Gross.
thought, oh, this would be fun to. I know Twitter is gross.
No, Twitter shouldn't be free. I love Twitter. I would pay a monthly subscription for Twitter if I had to.
So
wouldn't.
you'd pay to have someone like feed you horse shit? I don't understand it.
Dude, there are so many funny memes on Twitter. It's so worth it. And people, like, have you guys ever seen the clip or the tweet of the dude, like the Atlanta Falcons Twitter account was like, we have released so-and-so. And this dude tweeted at him, it was like, source, question mark?
Oh,
And
yes.
the Falcons responded, they're like, literally us, the Falcons. Like, that kind of content should not be free.
That's a good point.
Golden
All I'm
comedy.
saying is, there's a lot of screenshots of Twitter on Instagram.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not going to pay for Twitter if I can see it on Instagram for free.
But those screenshots would go down if Twitter wasn't free. This is a discussion for another day.
It is.
We're talking
Nah,
about
man,
perfect
it'll
movies
find a way.
and how none of that exists, and except for The Last Jedi. So
Amen.
let's get into
Preach it. Preach it, brother.
Man, that's the most positive thing you'll ever hear me say about The Last Jedi, and it was a joke.
We need a counter for like that just sits in the background, like 0 episodes
Oh
since The
my
Last
gosh.
Jedi was mentioned.
I'm so in.
I
I'm
want you
so
guys
in.
to know, I'm pretty sure 75% of the time, I don't bring it up. You
No,
guys
I do.
bring it up.
I do. Me. It is me. 100%.
Oh, yeah. So maybe real quick before we throw any out there, you guys kind of have a personal vendetta against calling movies perfect. And I think
call it
that's
vendetta.
okay. Vendettas may be strong. Explain, because I'm in the same vein where I don't actually believe there's a such thing as a perfect movie. To me, it's more of just an easy way to say these are the best of the best. And even if there's like nitpicky things, I don't know if I would really want them changed, because that's just the character of the movie, right? Do you have any additional thoughts to that before we jump in?
My biggest thing is film is subjective.
Yeah.
And so what's perfect for me may not be perfect for you.
Yep.
So I'm always a little bit cautious doing lists like this, because a movie that I may think is perfect, you might hate it.
Yeah.
Or, my biggest issue, and I notice this kind of when I look at my list, some of it is recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
What movies have I watched recently that I really liked? What movies am I leaving off this list? So, like, I don't know. It's always interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm completely the same. I think it's just. I think my big thing is people will take, especially on Twitter, free Twitter, they'll take their list way too seriously, and they'll be like, "These movies are perfect." I'm not saying this is everybody, but there are those people, and then there's also that other person that's just going to be toxic towards them and be like, "Are you crazy? That movie's trash." And then you get into this totally useless debate instead of just talking about how good a movie is.
Luckily, or maybe unfortunately, that's not this podcast, and we aim to have a thorough...
We could try. Should I put on my toxic shirt?
Hold on, let me have another drink. So yeah, no, I think that's it. That's a really good point. My goal for this conversation is that people can listen to it and then have a new list of,
movies to go watch.
I hadn't thought about that movie in a long time. That is really good. Or I've never seen that movie, and these guys are saying it's one of the best. And you've got free time because it's quarantine, or you need an escape because you're an essential worker and you're working your butt off. And you just, all of us. And
I'm essential for some reason.
That's what this is more for. We're just trying to highlight some really awesome films out there. Maybe they're things you haven't revisited in a while. Maybe they're things you've never heard of. Anyways, let's start going down. I want to start with Luke.
My list, I took it in a totally different direction.
Why does that not surprise me? Why is it I have provided you a guideline and you just say nope?
Well, I was just thinking about it, and I really I struggled because there is I can with you're talking I don't know if I would change that. I feel like I could find something to change in every movie.
Sure.
Even my favorite movies. And so I just I really started thinking about what would be perfect. I don't know. And so I have two lists. I'll do one of the lists after. It's really quick, and I just kind of had some fun with Twitter because free Twitter is hilarious.
Thank you.
But you'll catch on to what I did with my list pretty quick.
Okay.
I'm
excited.
So my first one is How to Train Your Dragon. And I said it is the perfect movie to watch with the entire family.
Situational perfection is what Luke is going with.
Yep.
I don't have any animated movies on my list.
Travesty.
I know. Shame on me.
I have two.
I would agree though. I think How to Train Your Dragon is one of the better original animated movies of the last, I don't know, 10 years, 20, maybe not 20 years. Last 10 years, like, it is so good.
Yeah.
It's got great characters, it's got a great world, it's got an amazing soundtrack.
Great animation.
Good.
And then I
Yep.
think one of the best things about it and why I decided to pick this one is because little kids can watch it and they're like, yeah, cute dragons, fun stuff, it's funny. Adults and parents, cute dragons, fun stuff, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a lot of the humor can be interpreted towards a kid, but also towards an adult,
Yeah.
which is really important in an animated movie now.
Yeah.
True. Okay. I like it. Tyler?
First one on my list, I texted you this one earlier because it'll be in the thumbnail. So spoiler alerts if you clicked on this video. Coco is the first one that came to mind. Again, like Luke said, it's a movie you can watch with your family. It's appropriate for everyone. But it also has the emotional beat that works really well. It's family oriented, and I think everybody in some capacity can relate to family.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful animation, incredible music, an awesome look at a culture that doesn't get as much love as it should.
Yeah.
It's a movie that is so broad and covers so many things, and it kind of I think it covers the topic of death really well. So Coco, man, movie rips my heart out every time I watch it, and I just keep going back.
Luke, Chris, and Tyler crying in a theater.
Yep.
That's the song.
Yep, that's the song.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Coco too. I was just thinking Coco 2. It's the sequel. What?
No.
Don't give that.
Don't
Don't give.
sequel.
Don't give
I don't
that
want a
movie
sequel.
No, that one is. Hopefully, Soul is a nice spiritual sequel. See what I did there?
They're gonna make a band.
Exactly.
Love it.
Okay, so my first one is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I've always liked this, but rewatching it 2 years ago,
In IMAX?
In IMAX, restored. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I loved it. It's and you'll notice this is where probably my films really distance themselves from yours. Mine are going to be way more like, oh, Brett's such a film critic, movie,
What a dweeb.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He went to movie school.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
But I just,
I was talking to Tyler. No.
when it comes to the visual language of film, I think that this movie has stood the test of time in terms of just that language of conveying emotion through like visuals. It's not very dialogue heavy, but it still has a story, and up until the ending, which is pretty out there and ambiguous in a way, like it's pretty trippy. Like you can follow that story.
If you understand the ending, you've been tripping on acid for at least 20 years.
Probably, yeah. So that's why 2001's on my list.
Cool.
Luke,
all right.
What's your second?
Number 2 for me. This movie is the perfect movie to make you laugh. It'll always cheer you up, put a smile on your face no matter what. It might be because it's so dumb, or because you legit, like me, think it's one of the funniest movies you ever seen. And that's Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all mine are situational. If you're going for like precision, perfection, this is not it. But this movie delivers on what it's trying to do every time. And that's make you laugh, make you have a really great time, make you smile.
I'm a big fan of Hot Rod.
Same.
What?
And I think you're
What way?
what you said there with it does what it's trying. It knows what it is and it does what it's trying to do perfectly. I think that is absolutely like a qualifier for even for me and my list. Like what makes a film perfect? It knows what it is and it it is what it is. Like, it achieves the goals that it sets out to be as a piece of art. And I would completely agree. Hot Rod is the perfection. Like, after years of like SNL skits, it's the perfect one of. It's like they made one of those. They put it in an oven after like perfecting the recipe for years, type of thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll agree with you on that one. I think that's great. I'm probably not going to disagree with you guys on any of these, but
I think we should have to disagree on the rest, no matter what.
okay, sounds
just
good.
to make it interesting.
So I got one more animated movie on my list, and I feel like
disagree.
animated. Okay, I bet you won't when I say
It
it.
could have been drawn better.
Is it Over the Hedge?
No, it's not Over the Edge.
Yeah, I disagree.
What if I said Brother Bear? Would you still disagree?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess I
no-
have to disagree.
No, you don't. No, this is a movie for me that I don't feel like there's enough good things to say about it. Family oriented once again, as most animated movies are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a superhero movie, which is always fun.
Mm.
And again, we get a look at a culture that we're not quite familiar with, and that's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
A little bit of recency bias, but I think that is actually my favorite comic book movie, regardless of animated or live action. And I don't know. It's a comic book come to life, and no movie has captured that like they did.
Yeah. I feel like they definitely brought that feel in a way that you just can't in live action, and is not really had never really been attempted before in other comic book animated films.
Yeah.
Look, man, when you turn this movie on and the comic book stamp pops up, you know you're in for something good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that is so cool. There was an approval to put that there for a reason. And that is just, it's too good to pass up.
Yeah. I agree.
Brett, what's your second one? Let's hear it.
My second one, I'm gonna go with. I don't have these in any particular order, so I'm just trying to have fun with my order here. Let's go with Alien. It was Alien Weekend or Alien Day this last weekend, and so it had
I disagree.
That,
No, I'm just kidding.
had that in the back of my head, kind of simmering, like, oh man, it's been a while since I've revisited any of the Alien movies. But I think in terms of maybe one of the best horror movies of all time, I would put Alien up there. It's got, I don't know, everything in terms of a great cast, a lead lady hero way before its time. Heck, we just are finally getting freaking solo women movies in the MCU.
Yeah.
Well, there's one. The other one might come out. We'll see.
Well, yeah,
gotten delayed.
True.
They might get scared.
But like, I just think that Ridley Scott uses the language of, I'm going to use the verbiage language of film so much tonight, and I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
That is such a freaking nerd thing. But
Weeb.
once again, I think it knows its lane, right? Like, it knows what it's trying to be. It's trying to be this claustrophobic horror thing where the monster does not show itself until the first, I don't know, hour is up. I mean, we're halfway through the movie until we even see the monster. It's just kind of restraint that you don't see anymore. It's a reason why I really liked the 2014 Godzilla movie. It's why Jaws is so good. It's fear through the absence of what's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it does a really good job at that. So,
Wait,
I like that movie.
me too. Haven't seen it in a while. Let's see, what's next on my list? All right, do you want to guess the movie or guess the situation?
Oh, situation. I'm gonna guess the situation.
All right. The movie is Halloween 1978.
A
The
movie to
situation
watch
is
on
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes.
His
It's-
next one's gonna be the best Christmas movie.
I don't know. It's a classic horror. I actually don't really like this movie that much. Um, I've seen it. It's fine. It's got Halloween in the title. It can be scary if you've never seen it. It could be fun if you're with a group of people and you want to hang out on Halloween. Like, that's it.
I'll disagree with you on this one. I think if you're gonna watch a classic a horror movie, go Friday the 13th.
Yeah, but it's Halloween. You watch that one on Friday the 13th. Come on.
Okay, Luke.
I think if I was going to go for a perfect horror movie, and I get, Luke, what you were doing with your themes.
Yeah.
But
It works
if-
for your theme.
Yeah, if I were to have a sixth movie and I wanted to have a horror genre as part of it, I think I would have chosen The Conjuring, the first one.
Yeah, not Halloween related enough for Luke though.
You should have
Halloween in the
chose
title,
Halloween
man.
3, Season of the Witch, dude.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
3 more days till Halloween. Sorry. Silver Shamrock.
Love it. Tyler, sing your next one, please.
Oh, it's one word.
Oh, well then you better just say it.
It's actually a number.
Oh, 7.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it. Such a good movie.
So, Luke, I hate that I have this on my list.
No, you're good.
Because when Luke recommended this movie to me, one of the words he said was, "I think this is as close to perfect as a movie can get." And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll probably not like it that much, but I'm sure it'll be good. And then I watched it, and I was like, why haven't I watched this yet? And this movie is as close to perfect as you can get. And I find myself saying the same thing Luke said to me. Like, if I were to recommend it to someone, I would just be like, yeah, this movie, from a writing standpoint, is airtight. Like, it seriously has everything. And it has a great cast, has great cinematography, it has an interesting and appealing story. It has the twists and turns. It has the gore of a horror movie, honestly. It does everything.
It's got Brad Pitt's face.
It's got Brad Pitt's face. It does everything right. Mm-hmm. There's not one thing in the movie where I'm just like, I don't know if I like that. There's none of that for me when I watch 7. It's just like, yes, that was a great beat. Yes, that was a great beat. Yes, that was a great beat. And that movie is always firing on all cylinders. And there's not many movies that do that.
That was the only one I could think of when I was trying to think of
Like actual
this
perfect movies.
initially. Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of going, I guess, kind of by, I don't call it Brett's rules. It sounds bad. But I love everything about 7. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies. But like, I guess the one issue I would find in it is pride and lust get sidelined so hard in that movie. And I feel like you could have developed that a little bit more, add a little bit more attention with, oh, what are these gonna be? That being like, and pride is just kind of like over. It's like, oh yeah, she killed herself with pills because she didn't want her people to see she was ugly. And it's like, I don't think I even really understood what was going on the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the one that I thought of.
Yeah, and I mean that is probably considered a nitpick at this point.
Oh yeah,
So
Yeah. Look, you can nitpick any movie.
Right.
You can. I think it's
Yeah.
viable to say you can nitpick a perfect movie. That's yeah, totally cool. Well, that was a good pick. Oh man,
Was that on your list?
7's great. No, it was not, but I would add it. Absolutely would add it. My next one's gonna be one that came out a couple of years ago. Annihilation.
Fast and Furious 7? Oh.
I love
steal-
Annihilation.
did I steal
No,
one
you
of
didn't
yours?
steal one.
Okay.
No, because I saw your list because you tweeted it
Oh,
out.
yeah. Yeah, I did.
But I
yeah.
love
Spoiler
this
alert.
movie.
Yeah, this is one that I think going to quote unquote film school, you get kind of this idea that like the best kind of movies are movies where the story is metaphorical. That's not always the case. I'm not saying that's actually true, but I think you kind of get that ingrained in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one where after watching it, like that really clicked for me. Ugh. Yeah, good. Tyler's got the book.
Oh no, I have the books.
The books.
The books.
This was one of those movies that I loved having these kinds of movie discussions with my friends previously, before seeing this movie. But it was probably this movie that made me like really dive into other people's like theories, or not even theories, but like those deep dives into breaking down movies and stuff like that. I went out and I looked up like every one of them, and just because I wanted to see if I was crazy, was I crazy with what I took away from that movie. And for better or worse, I guess, I seem to have been reaffirmed in what I took away from the movie as what a lot of other people took away from it, which is this, metaphorical look at depression and how individuals deal with it. And it's so well written and paced and really makes you think. If you can't tell between 2001 and this one, like I like movies that make you think. So
I will say to add, I've read the book and seen the movie, and this isn't a case of I saw the movie first, it's better.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is undoubtedly, words are hard. It's way better than the book, like way better than the book, and not many movies can say that.
Yeah.
But I think the movie is head and shoulders above the story the book tells. So whoever did the treatment for that movie did an incredible job.
Sweet. All right. Yep, you guessed it. The perfect Christmas movie.
Yeah, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Oh, so wait, we need to guess it now. So we know the.
It's a perfect Christmas
the
movie.
scenario.
It's
according
Die
to
Hard.
Luke.
It's Die Hard.
Oh my god! If it's Die Hard, I'm gonna come over to your house and I'm gonna.
Watch Die Hard with me?
Nope. Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Well, it's not Die Hard, so.
Okay, good. My guess is gonna be Elf.
Nope.
Nope.
Christmas Story.
I was going to say A Beautiful
yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought about It's a Wonderful Life.
Or It's a Wonderful Life, sorry.
But kind of the reason I picked A Christmas Story is because it's played 24 hours straight on USA.
There's something special about A Christmas Story, for sure. And I thought about A Wonderful Life as well. And mainly the reason I didn't pick it is I don't think it's aged quite as well in terms of some of how it treats things like patriarchy and kind of those family things, and how it's from another time. And honestly, it's one of those movies that I would be furious to see updated, but honestly, it maybe could be updated. And because I think its message is good enough that it could be updated for a new generation. But talk about A Christmas Story more. Sorry.
It's just, it kind of grabs everything there is about Christmas, like when you're a kid. Everybody can relate to it. Like, you always wanted that one gift, and either you just never get it, it might be a letdown, or you get it and it's the best Christmas ever. Like, kind of all three of those things. And just kind of like all the stress going into Christmas, like with the dad and the mom and saying your first F word. Like those are just things that I love. And
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never sworn before.
oh, we should get that out of you. There's first time for everything, Brett. But yeah, it's a fun movie and it's really funny. It's a movie that really grew on me. I used to not like this movie. Plus just I don't know, the realness of it. Like I feel like somebody followed some kids around and they're just like, all right, have a normal day.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. Like there's a authenticity to it that I can really respect.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, my fourth perfect movie. This one I don't think will surprise anybody. 1917.
Yes.
I don't even feel the need to mention the cinematography, but the ability to build suspense, while also masterfully navigating filming the movie the way they did. That movie, it just feels so real. Like that is one of the most immersive movies I think I've ever seen. I jumped more watching 1917 than any horror movie in the last like 3 or 4 years. Because everything just I felt like I was part of it.
Yeah.
Which I haven't had a movie make me feel that way like 1917 did. And it's wonderfully acted. It's beautiful. I don't know. I could go on and on about how good it is. And it's a story, of brotherhood. And brotherhood in movies is something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And it works for me. So, yeah, 1917. I mean, the Academy agrees with me. So.
Well, almost, but there was a more perfect film.
Yeah, there was.
We had 2019 was a good year.
It was.
It's a good year.
2020's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 movies.
Yeah,
is that the penance we pay to have a year like 2019 or what?
Oh,
Best
man,
picture is gonna
maybe.
Best picture is gonna come down to Birds of Prey, Underwater, Bloodshot,
Onward,
Sonic, Onward, and we can fill up 5 more spots.
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life.
Oh boy. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll throw my fourth out there. There probably won't be much to talk about because I don't know if either of you have even seen this movie. Citizen Kane.
I have not seen it.
Never seen it.
Again, another older movie. This one's by Orson Welles, and very, very much a classic. Very much a film. This is one that everyone watches in film school. I think it just, for me, it holds a special place in terms of being one of those movies where after I watched it, I had a deep introspective look at myself. The whole thing revolving around Rosebud and what that is and what that means, and that was something I hadn't really experienced in movies before, because growing up as a kid, I think you see movies as this like, oh, it's entertainment, and a lot of people just continue to watch movies as entertainment. That's completely valid. That's not an incorrect way to watch movies, but understanding that art, whether that's books or paintings or movies or music, can be so much more than just entertainment, and they can tell us something about ourselves. This is one of those movies that did that for me, and
Reflection.
Yeah, and so I would, I don't know. I think I'd recommend it even still today. It's certainly still relevant in an age where we do have kind of the wealth gap that we do, and who's running what, and the things of millionaires and billionaires,
I gotta
mega
make one of
corporations, and what kind of influence they have. Like, that all is in this movie, and it's from freaking 1920. I don't remember what year it actually came out, but I can look it up. But yeah,
those. Sometime in between 1900 and 2000, right?
exactly.
You nailed it.
It's pretty sure it's in there somewhere. Did you see that movie before you went to school?
I watched it in preparation. Like
Okay.
when I got accepted, they were like, "Here's a list of like 10 to 15 movies you should watch." So I watched it then.
Okay.
1941.
Oh, I was right.
You were technically right.
You know, they say aim small, miss small. Don't know what that means.
All right, Luke, what's your final one?
My last one is the perfect summer movie.
Ooh,
The Sandlot.
Jaws.
That's right.
Yes, let's
The
go.
Sandlot.
Yeah, Jaws isn't the perfect summer
Jaws-
movie.
It's the perfect anti-summer movie.
Yeah,
Want to
yeah.
go to the beach? Nope, I just watched Jaws.
It's the perfect quarantine movie. I feel so safe in my house.
Man, I nailed that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie is like the definition of summer, kind of like how I'd say The Christmas Story. It's like the definition of Christmas almost. Like, this is what's going to happen. Whereas like Sandlot is, yeah, this is what you want your summer to be.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Pool shenanigans, baseball, 4th of July. Like, it just hits all those bases. Friendship.
Making stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That's right. Getting chased by giant dogs.
Yeah. What a movie. I want to watch that
I need
now.
to see it again.
That
Me
is a good
too.
movie. It's very good.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's one that I would agree even fits by my standards of definition.
Darth Vader's in it. Kind of.
Kind of.
Why don't you just come knock on my door?
I was scared.
All right, guys.
Man, I would have hopped the fence too.
Tyler?
I was always scared to knock on doors.
My last one is also a sports movie.
Ooh.
Anybody want to take a stab at it? It's not Remember the Titans before you say it.
The Water Boy.
I love both of those movies, but no, neither of them.
Happy Gilmore.
No, also great. Eddie the Eagle
Eddie, yes.
lands on this for me. Man, that movie made me feel so good. So good. And it's anchored by two dudes, Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton, who are just, they're all in. And, you know, that movie, for me, Brett, you kind of talked about Citizen Kane and inflection and things like that. Eddie the Eagle, for me, is, you know, there's beauty in the struggle, right? I mean, and it's not your typical, like, oh, you're struggling to become rich and famous. You're struggling just to want to represent your country. You're struggling to want to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And to me, like, that's so important. And I feel like it's something that's being forgotten as we go through time, in the social media age and in the way that our world is kind of the trajectory we are on. I feel like that's kind of forgotten anymore. And that movie just kind of reminded me, you know, sometimes, you know, it's great to get to the mountaintop, but sometimes it's awesome just to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that movie kind of does a great job of showing that. It's funny. It just hits all the right beats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
I think the only movie that you describe in that way that's better than that is Cool Runnings, of course.
Oh, Cool Runnings is good.
I mean,
Cool Runnings
Takes
is
place
good.
at the same time.
Yeah,
Same Olympics.
Same Olympics, actually.
Same time. No, that's a good pick, Tyler. I appreciate it. It's a good one. Good one. I guess I'm last. My final one is, to no one's surprise, Jurassic Park. This was, I think this was maybe the movie that, you know, we had a few movies come before, things like 2001, things like Star Wars, that kind of expanded what was possible in movies. And Jurassic Park, it took that that next leap, right? It was like, okay, we can do computer generated things. We can mix them with live action, and we can tell this amazing story around it. Again, I think cast is just spot on. I think it talks about a issue that we're constantly asking ourselves these days. We have for a long time, right? Like, how much does man meddle in nature? What's the appropriateness of going to
Owning
the next
tigers,
bar, right? Yeah. Should you breed tigers? Should you breed dinosaurs? And do you make a profit off of them?
If you shouldn't breed tigers, you probably shouldn't breed dinosaurs.
Who is
No.
Who is
Had
the
Jurassic Park people seen Tiger King?
Who is the Carol Baskins of the Jurassic Park world?
The old guy.
Oh, from Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe the young guy,
Because
actually.
he's cloning his...
Because he's the one
No,
who's
that's-
like taking advantage
That's Doc
of it.
Antle. I think that's Doc Antle.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, good call.
Old guy who's cloning his daughter is Carol Baskin.
Jeff Goldblum is the guy with no legs, right? Like, he's the guy who's like...
Yeah. Who's Joe Exotic.
The problem is Hammond is totally Joe Exotic at the beginning of the first one, but by the end of the first one, he's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's his arc, is becoming a not crazy man, and Joe Exotic just has never not been a crazy man. So
Who's Jeff? Who comes in and swindles? Would that be...
just the InGen board.
Vincent
the-
D'Onofrio's character from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the scientist who's doing all the cloning? Who's that?
Oh, Woo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, this was a connection I hadn't even made before the show.
We're going to have to do a separate episode
Love
connecting
it.
Jurassic Park to Tiger King.
I'm in.
I think we just need to take the audio from Tiger King and put clips of Jurassic Park over it to make ourselves a little mockumentary.
I was
Yes.
waiting for...
Guys,
John-
if I ever
like
get,
Jeff
if I
Goldblum,
get
that
furloughed,
bitch
I
Carol
know what I'm doing
Baskin.
for that. Oh,
I need to
love
finish
it.
that. I have one episode left.
I love it. Okay. Well, we got some.
I
Yeah.
had a little
Oh,
fun thing.
Yes. Let's do your fun thing, and then I have a few real quick honorable mentions that I'll just throw
Okay.
off as well.
So when this started first dropping on Twitter on Thursday or Friday, whenever it started to go down, I was thinking about tweeting something, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I just don't know. I don't know if I really like all this. So I was just scrolling through the hashtag, and I was reading everybody's, and I started to like notice trends.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to do this? So I made a template for deciding your 5 perfect movies if you don't know what to pick.
Okay.
So if you're like, I don't know what my 5 perfect movies are, just use my template and just roll with it. Get behind every one of your decisions. The first one, just pick your favorite movie. It's perfect because it's your favorite movie.
Oh.
The second one, the classic. Pick something old. I guess I should give examples. My favorite movie is Braveheart. It's a perfect movie because it's my favorite movie. The classic, It's a Wonderful Life. This is why I kind of brought it up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic movie. It's a Christmas movie. Has a good message. It's a classic. There's
Yeah.
reason enough. It's perfect. It's in black and white and it looks cool. Number 3, the nostalgia one.
Oh.
Pick something that's like, oh, I love this thing and this is the first one I saw, or it's my favorite one of the thing I saw. So obviously I got to pick The Empire Strikes Back because
Right.
it's a perfect movie. Number 4, the one nobody's seen. Pick something nobody's seen. How are they going to argue with you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My pick, Sing Street. I know 3 people that have seen that movie. And the last one, this is the one you have fun with. This one's called the eye roller. You can pick something that's just funny, it's a joke, something super nerdy. Maybe you'll throw BVS or maybe even the Snyder Cut in there. This is where I got Hot Rod from.
I love it. I love it.
So use that template. If you can't think of anything,
You're set.
just have fun with it. Just get ready and just lean in 100% into whatever you decide. It'll be fun.
Yep. Sweet. I had a few runner-ups, honorable mentions, I guess. I threw this one out there earlier. Jaws, I think, is a nearly perfect movie. Parasite from this last year. I left it off more or less because I wasn't sure how much my recency bias was playing into that, but it is such a good movie. Blade Runner 2049. I think that stands above the original, mostly because the original was released as a hot mess. It took five times to get it right.
Yeah.
And then Rear Window, which is another classic movie. Being remade. Like there's like they have kind of like a remake coming out maybe this year. We'll see.
My classic movie would be 12 Angry Men.
Good movie.
It's a good movie. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that though.
I think I watched that movie 4 times in college.
Wow. Why?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or for like class.
just because it
I watched
was
it-
fun?
I think I watched it once for class, and then I watched it 3 other times.
Okay.
I like that movie a lot.
It's good.
I think it's interesting that Luke was the only one of us to have a Star Wars on the list.
Oh, that's just off my template. I don't actually think that.
Oh, okay. Oh, then none of us had a Star Wars on the list. Do you think that's because do we cover Star Wars too much? Are we too much in the weeds of Star Wars to find any of them perfect?
I just don't think any of them are perfect.
Same.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
I
kind of.
think too, when you get into movies that are constantly being messed with, like there's constantly like the CG in Empire Strikes Back has been done several times
Right.
at this point. I don't know if that's
I also think there's 9 movies.
yeah.
Like, they're constantly trying to expand on a story they started with. Like Star Wars was never meant to be a 9-movie franchise, I don't think.
No.
Right?
Well,
so
yeah, no. I mean, it was made as a standalone movie, and then
Right.
with
Then he
of
went.
course the hope that like I hope I get to make more, but like this is the only one I can afford, so yeah, I get that. Yeah,
That and just genre films kind of in general, like the superhero fantasy. I think it's harder to throw into a category of perfect.
Yeah.
unless it's into the Spider-Verse.
Especially since like a lot of it is based and just if it's based on like a book or something, I think it'd be hard to compare it as perfect just because it's going to have differences from the book,
yeah.
which I mean it would be a nitpick, but I mean that's what we do.
Well,
so.
I look at mine and I think like the only ones of mine that are series, Alien and Jurassic Park are the first. They're number 1, right? And I think about like I love Lord of the Rings, but I can't throw Lord of the Rings in as a perfect movie.
I thought about it.
If I could put it in as a perfect trilogy, maybe like all together, but the first one the first one doesn't quite fit it for me. The second one is maybe the closest, and my god, I love the third one, but it's got 16 different endings, and like there's totally
And
things
each
I would
one
change
makes me cry.
about that.
Each one makes me cry.
So yeah, no, it's all interesting. I think the point that Tyler kind of brought up at the beginning, it's all subjective. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And I think the subjectiveness is so fun to discuss. And when you start getting into perfection is when kind of what I was saying earlier, people will kind of get snotty at each other.
I think people just get defensive, right? It's like, well,
Yeah.
I want you to validate my opinion, not like,
Yeah.
not tear it
And
down.
And when people's opinions aren't validated, you get troll Twitter accounts just bashing something forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
No matter how much they profess to truly love that thing.
This is true. Hashtag release the snark cut.
Release the butthole cut, man.
Dude,
what I want.
Hey, we got some Twitter stuff.
We did.
On this
We do.
topic too.
Tyler, you want to read those off?
I sure can.
All right, do it, my man.
So we actually got, and I'm gonna go just top to bottom here.
Okay.
So, we asked what are a couple perfect movies in your opinion. First response I see here from Eric Exum at EXM. Luke's gonna love this list. I'm just gonna say that ahead of time.
Is it the first 5 Fast and Furious movies?
No, it's the first 4 and 1 extra. No, so his list goes Whiplash, Django Unchained, Sing Street,
Yes!
Jojo Rabbit, and Interstellar.
I love it.
That
I
could-
do know that Eric is one of the couple people
Yeah.
who has seen Sing Street, and it makes me so happy
Yeah.
because that movie it's brilliant, and it makes me cry every time.
Okay.
Good list, Eric.
Yeah, that is a
Love that
fantastic
That's a
list.
solid list.
Ian Deckard, pronounced Ian. Flash Gordon with the late Max von Sydow.
Oh,
Interesting side note, Melody Anderson, who played Dale Arden, is a LCSW in NY and LA. What is an LCSW?
Large, carnivorous sandworm.
Sea whale.
Ooh.
I went to Dune.
Yeah. LC.
I don't know what that means, but Flash.
Tweet in what it is. No,
But
let's
What
not-
do you think what it is?
But Flash Gordon is awesome in the Ted movies. So, and Luke and I actually saw him in person.
Oh, cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did. Holy crap. I forgot about that.
I think we met him. I can't remember.
It was real quick.
He was filming like a news bit, so we didn't
That's
really
when-
get to talk to him.
Yeah, we were kind of just making the rounds real quick.
Yeah, that was when we first got into the interview section.
Nice.
Seabull TV sends his list in, and I think we're all gonna like this list.
The first 5 Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah. No. So 1917, thumbs up for me. The Other Guys,
Yes.
Jurassic Park.
I love that movie.
This is one I'm surprised neither of you mentioned. Sahara.
Oh, I love Sahara. It is not a perfect movie. I love it. It is a hot mess, but I love it.
And then Braveheart.
Great films.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
a good list.
Thank you so far to everybody who's sent a list in. And
Yeah.
then the last one we got is from the Who the Hell Is This For podcast. I actually really like their list too. Jaws, Big Trouble in Little China,
Yes.
Manhunter, Alien,
Yeah.
Back to the Future,
Mm.
and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Good
Once Upon a
list.
Time in Hollywood being there, I thought was pretty shocking, to be honest.
I think that, I mean, if we're talking about like, I think Tarantino has perfected his style of filmmaking.
His formula.
So if you're really into that, doesn't surprise me that's.
But I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is pretty far from what he normally does. Far is a loose term.
Sure. Yeah. It's just
I don't know.
I
It's
think
fantastic.
it's just because it's more it's more grounded in his weird version of reality, if that makes any sense. Like
Where no one wears shoes and they
Right,
can
like-
see their feet all the time.
well, like Inglourious Bastards is kind of, you know, that's
Amazing.
I'm not saying it's not amazing. It's maybe my second or third favorite Tarantino film.
It's 1 second.
But like that versus like so many of his other things are more pure, like not this isn't a period piece, but they're outside of Hollywood. This is a Hollywood movie, right? And that's like he is so into that I think it just kind of oozes with Tarantino pride and like this perfection of him. I'm not saying I don't actually think it's a perfect film. I love that it's on their list though.
I do too. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And that is the end of it.
Sweet.
Unless there's one I'm missing.
Nope,
I
that's
thought that
all I
was
saw.
of it. Okay, sweet.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sending those in,
who
everybody.
sent 'em in.
Yep. Oh, we're running long this week, boys. Let's wrap this baby up.
I need to go to sleep.
Or short if you look at our old stuff.
As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can find us at whatthefanboy.com. You can hit us up on social media at whatthefanboy on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to hear from you guys about whatever kind of questions you have. Like Ian this week sent in not only a list, but a Fanbox question. He needs someone to refurbish his PS4 controller. Do we know someone who's worthy and capable? I do not.
I only know one person who has a controller kit, and I don't know if it would fit for PlayStation 4.
Modern controllers are weird in that, like, there's not a lot of places that that will repair them. At least probably not to the quality you want for the price you want. I'd suggest maybe going and finding a used one somewhere, a lightly used one, or get a new one. I know it's a little more expensive, but yeah, find a cheap one.
Walmart sells PlayStation controllers cheaper than everywhere else. I think they're like $40.
Tyler's got the info, the info you need.
Or you can go to Amazon and buy your own toolkit.
Oh, there you go. Do it yourself.
I used to do that with my Xbox 360 controllers.
Nice. I tried to replace on my Xbox Elite Series 1 controller. I tried to replace a joystick module, like not the rubber part that you touch, like the inside part that actually controls, and it was very intimidating, and I didn't do it right. So sad day.
It happens.
But it's fine. If you listen to us on iTunes or Spotify or any of those places that you can leave a review and rate us, we would love it for you to do that. Love for you to do that for us, so that we can know how we can make the show better, or if you're just loving it.
Yeah, please.
So
I'm gonna fall asleep sitting here. I'm tired.
All right, let's get out of here so Tyler can go sleep. We'll see you till next week. We'll see you guys.
See you, everybody.